Hey YouTube, Billy here. Hey, today I want to talk to you about something that's been occupying a bit of my time for the last 2 months here, and that's looking into and attempting to set up an online business. Now, I've always had it in my mind that I want a third stream of revenue for myself. I have a full-time job that I work. I have YouTube that makes me a little bit of money. I've been on the lookout for something else that I could do that would be something I could put some time into it as I have the extra time, and then it would kind of just take care of itself for the most part. I don't mind doing work, but what I'm trying to do is find something that kind of like YouTube does, where you're making money, you're making a check, it's coming in 24/7, there's money being made. So a little bit before Christmas, I saw a video pop up on YouTube from a guy that was claiming that he made $2,000 to $3,000 in a weekend, and he was selling stuff on Amazon and eBay. So I'm thinking that's something I could be interested in, and I'm sure if some of you saw that video, you were probably thinking the same thing too. Like, hey, I can invest a little time and make $2,000 to $3,000 in a weekend. So I checked out his video, and the basics of it was he was doing what they call retail arbitrage. And what that is where you go into a retail store and you find items that are low priced that you can flip for a higher price online. Typically that would mean the items are like clearance items. You're trying to find something that may be selling for $5 that you could sell for $15 or $20, something like that. In his case, because it was before Christmas, there was a demand for the Millennial Monopoly game. Walmart, I believe, was the only one carrying this game, and they were selling it for $19.97, if I remember right, 20 bucks. Online, he could get 55, 60 bucks a game. So, nice profit margin there. And what he was doing was going into every Walmart he could find in his area, buying them out on these games, and then uploading it. While he was in line, he was uploading, hey, I've got 5 of these games, I got 20 of these games, putting it on eBay, and he was showing while he was walking to his car, his phone was dinging with sales. So he was making some money at this. And I believe it was a legitimate video. I don't believe this guy was any kind of BS going on there. Everything he was talking about, everything he was doing seemed legitimate. The guy actually made that kind of money in 1 week. So a little light bulb goes off. Why don't you look into how this works? I went online and started looking around, and I didn't know that much about selling online. I've sold some things on Craigslist. I've sold some stuff on some selling apps. Never really sold anything on eBay. Never really. I've never sold anything on eBay and never sold anything on Amazon. I started looking into how this works, and it's a little bit confusing. It can be a little bit confusing at first. The thing you start running into real quick is people who are trying to sell you their programs or their mentoring sessions for $300 a session or $1,000 for their program, or whatever the numbers are. Those are just a couple of numbers that I saw. And that's a lot of money. If you're looking at starting up something like this, a little thing on the side, and you're just looking, you're filling it out to just drop $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, from a business standpoint, you've now put yourself in the hole $2,000. So if you're thinking of buying and selling things where you might be making $10 an item or $5 an item every time you sell one of them, you're going to need to sell an awful lot of those items to make the profit, just to recover your initial loss in your startup, not counting all your other startup costs. So I decided the best thing to do would be to just kind of research it myself, see what I could come up with, and avoid buying in any programs. There's a ton of information out there if you're willing to do the research. This video hopefully is one of them, where you can pick up a few things, little nuggets of knowledge. I found the best thing to do if you're thinking about doing this is you need to look at a whole lot of videos, get a lot of different perspectives out there. Don't just look at one and say, oh yeah, that's how I want to do it, because everybody out there has got an opinion, and every opinion is a little different on how they're doing things. But another thing that you can pick up is little tricks and tips that they'll drop, even in their videos where they're trying to sell you on their program. They may give you a couple teasers, and there's some pretty valuable information you can pick up if you look at enough of those. The first thing I found out was it seemed like Amazon was the premier online selling site, and you wanted to be FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. You wanted to go that route was what I was finding out, and because that way you're going through Prime, you're going to get choice spots on the search bars, and there was all this stuff that there was advantages to this, and you wanted to have a pro seller account. What that is when you go on Amazon, you can create a seller account for free. Every item that you upload or send in to them to sell, they're going to charge you 99 cents or $1 per item. The pro seller account costs $40. So if you got the free account and you send in more than 40 items in a month, you'd have been better off having the pro seller account. And that was some of the advice they were giving is go get a pro seller account. Just start out that way, because the thought process is that if you are spending $40 a month, it gives you some incentive to send in at least the 40 items, and therefore it's going to help you get your business going. You're not going to get started and then say, oh, I'm bored with this, I'll come back to it in 3 weeks. I went about and did it. I set up my pro seller account for $40. I went out and got an app, and there's a lot of different apps out there that you can use. The one I used was called Profit Bandit. It cost me $10 a month. What Profit Bandit allowed me to do is you have it on your phone, you take your camera, you can scan an item in the store, it'll tell you what that item's selling for currently, it'll give you different prices on Amazon, and there's also a site called Camel, and they can give you rankings and how that item's selling. A lot of information, tons of information. I was pretty excited. I thought, okay, I'm going down the right path here. I've got my seller account set up, I've got my shopping app set up. I went and figured out what kind of shipping things I would need, like a postage scale. You'll need one of those. There's some other tools, tape gun and little Scotty pillars, which are these neat little tools that'll take a sticker right off of an item without damaging the item underneath it. So I was all raring to go, and I started looking at my local Walmart. They didn't seem to have a lot of stuff there that I could flip, and I scanned some stuff on Profit Bandit that I thought might make me some money, and it turned out, according to Profit Bandit, it was a loser. Don't buy it, because it'll rank you. It'll give you a ranking for your items, and if you have a real high ranking, it's not something you want to buy. You want a very low ranking. So Profit Bandit was saving me money right off the bat because I wasn't buying things that were going to be losers and not sell. But something started to come up when I was doing Profit Bandit, and it was restricted. So I'd scan an item, and it would say, this item is restricted. Restricted means you can't sell it on Amazon. If you were to go into, say, your local Walmart, and after Christmas, you hit the clearance section, and say they had a bunch of toy dolls for $5, and it was a popular doll that you're like, hey, I could probably sell that thing for $20 online, and there's 5 of them here, I'll just buy them all up, and you go to scan it, and it comes up restricted, you're not going to be able to sell that on Amazon. They're not going to let you do it. If you were able to get it even uploaded, you could get your account shut down for trying to sell restricted items. And there's another term, gated, and that's when companies are trying to protect their property, like say Mattel, I believe, makes Barbie. They want to keep their price from being undercut, because I'm going to be buying these Barbie dolls at say $5 or $8 and selling them for $15, whereas Barbie's selling them for 20 bucks in the store. So they don't want to have somebody out there on Amazon cutting them by $5. So they basically push on Amazon to gate the item or restrict the item. Again, it means you're not going to be able to sell it. To sell it, you're going to have to go through a process to get ungated. And from what I was seeing is there's a little bit of money involved. This restricted thing for Amazon basically killed it for me, because everything I was scanning in the stores ended up being restricted. What I ended up doing was I went over to eBay. And eBay, to me, was more a little bit like the Wild West. I was able to take items I was buying, upload them on eBay, and sell them, and there was no restrictions. I guess the point of this video today is to let you know this is the start of this little journey I'm doing, trying to get some online sales going. I'm just playing around with this to see if it's even a viable concept for me without going into spending thousands of dollars on some sort of a mentoring program or a tutor program or somebody's workshop, because one of the things I was finding out was not one of those people that was selling those programs was really talking about the restrictions. Alright, well, I try to keep my videos somewhat short. I don't want to ramble on. I'm hoping that if you're watching this, you're finding this to be helpful. Let me know, because I've got a bunch of these planned. I've got different things I want to talk about. I want to kind of cover the eBay fees. There's a lot of little fees that you got to make sure you're aware of before you just put an item up and try and sell it thinking you're going to make money, or you're going to find yourself losing money real quick. Okay, well, as always, hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.